I love how the post-game show, like, froze, like the Wi-Fi froze on us when we're like this. I'm not any different than watching a Bills game. There's just trash everywhere.
Beers are too expensive.
Yeah. Can we just call out Dennis Chapman for that? He is absolutely right.
He's hilarious.
It is just too expensive to throw beers at opposing players. It's just simply too expensive.
I'm not wasting that.
Nope.
I waste enough money on my own players.
Since when did Isaiah McKenzie become a #1 receiver in the NFL?
Since he went to a team that didn't have any.
Yeah. Well, he was a fifth round draft pick? 6th, 7th? He was some 5th to 7th round pick by the Broncos last year.
One of the flyers. You take a flyer on a guy, it just didn't work out. Interesting from a team that got rid of McKenzie and then traded Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Thomas was going to be 31.
Right.
I understand why they did that deal, but then it still didn't open up any room for him.
No.
I don't see a lot of incredible talent on Denver.
Yeah.
And he seems like
would preclude him from being included on that team.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he seems like a very crisp route runner. He seems like an explosive player. He seems like a gadget guy. He could be like a Taylor Gabriel type player for you.
Right. Taylor Gabriel or Tyler Lockett.
Yeah. Any of those guys, Tavon Austin type.
That's not a compliment calling somebody Tavon Austin.
No, but that type of player, you want that guy that like, okay, he's going to play in the slot, he's going to run the jet sweeps, he's going to do all these little gadget things for you. He's your return guy. Mm-hmm. So you solve a lot of things having him in there. And he could be a matchup nightmare for some teams. That's what we talked about when we were talking about Jeremy Maclin.
Mm-hmm.
He said he wanted to go to a winner. He's not IR, but he's talking about him coming to the Bills. He could come to the Bills and just step in to be the #1 right away.
Absolutely.
So you talk about McKenzie. Hey, we've been scouting. We like what you can do. We like the dynamic you bring to the team. Would you like to come to the Bills? And he's like, yeah, I don't have a job. Might as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he steps right in because he provides something different that all the other receivers don't possess.
Yeah, Foster's got great long speed, right? But you don't see them trying to get him the ball at the line of scrimmage.
No. McLeod was inactive. Right. So it allowed McKenzie to step in there. And so now, if you think about it, if these guys progress the way they're supposed to progress in the last 5 games, you got McLeod, viable deep threat, and
but he's on a 4-year contract.
Yeah, he's a shifty guy. Okay, you got Ray on a 4-year deal.
Yep.
All right, you still have time to see because that's fine. You make him inactive. McKenzie, you got to see what he has now.
Right. 1-year deal. Yep. Free agent next
Year. Foster,
you
got to see what he has now.
1-year deal. Got to see what he has next year.
So he's your deep threat. I mean, you seem like you putting these pieces in place. You got a deep threat. You got a gadget guy, and you got McLeod, who you have time to work with. Benjamin probably won't be your 1. You have to get a 1. So the Zay Joneses and the McKenzies and the Robert Fosters actually work. Right. I don't think Foster can be a 1 by himself. No. But you're talking about Foster.
Not yet. No.
You're talking about Foster in this offense because he's been in this offense for years. A couple of years. I mean, he knows Daboll's system.
Right. Because he came from Alabama.
Yeah. So, I mean, it gives him almost an unfair advantage. Plus, you're only telling the guy to run streaks. It's not really it.
Right.
But I like... If you want to talk to me about the first 2 games of the year versus the last 2 games that we've just seen out of the wide receiver position, I'm liking it.
Oh, sure, absolutely. But I mean, you've seen a complete turnover at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
As far as who they want to play. I mean, you went from starting KB, Zay Jones, and Andre Holmes to KB, Zay Jones, and now insert name of guy who runs a 4.4. Right? I mean, it's. And that is more dangerous. If you can't get separation, if your receiver group is incapable of getting separation, then the only thing you can do is either scheme it or just get a bunch of guys who can run by everybody. Right?
And are you saying they're electing to do option B?
They're electing
because
to do
they're not
B.
scheming it at all.
No, because they're not scheming to get these guys open at all. I saw them run a bunch formation. I was so excited, and then they ran a sweep with it, and then we never saw that formation again.
They ran 3 formations all day.
Yep.
They ran doubles.
Yep.
They ran a bunch, and they ran heavy.
Yep.
I saw a bunch. Actually, I saw a bunch a little bit more, but running the jet out of the bunches, I only saw once.
Right.
But they ran bunch quite a bit with Kroom in there, which I liked. And you think about it, is anybody missing Charles Clay right now?
No. That's money that we don't have to worry about next season.
That's
He's
money.
going to cost
KB.
you. Well, he's going to cost you, I think, $4.5 million on the cap next year.
Peanuts.
I get it.
Peanuts. Hey,
You're going to save 4.5.
I was taking a look at. Do you know that Cleveland? No, I'm sorry. Indianapolis still has $50 million under the cap this year.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You think
Crazy, right?
You think they make a crazy splash in the offseason for a
They
bunch
have
of?
to.
Because they're
They have
rolling
to.
over $50 million. Are you kidding me right
They
now?
have to.
Well, because of the cash spend.
Yeah, because they have to spend the money. Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't have an option. They have to spend the money.
Yeah, but getting back. I know I brought it up, but I want to get back to the Bills. In the wide receiver core, Clay's gone. Clay's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been inactive.
Kroom has done everything that Clay can do.
Yeah, he has. And he seems like a bigger target for Allen. Anyway.
I was really hoping to see more Logan Thomas, but
as far as the matchups that they had today, I think Kroom was better in there than Tom because they were asked to block more.
Yep. Right.
And he's a better blocker than Thomas.
Absolutely is.
So,
yep.
I guess depending on the matchup, that's what will depend on that. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Foster. It seems like he can get some separation from, like I said, a secondary it scares a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ramsey, Church, Gibson, and Bouye are very talented. It's a very talented secondary. So
that understands their assignments, and I think that makes a big difference. The players understand what their job is. They're not, I think that gets overplayed where everybody talks about how great the player is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody ever talks about how great the receivers are on the Patriots. But as long as you understand your job, you can be effective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, is Church a great safety? I don't think so. But does he fit in that system?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fits great.
Where'd Church come from?
Don't care. Doesn't matter.
No, I mean, where did he...
I have no idea.
I know...
Couldn't tell you.
It's funny to think about, though. I think Gibson played with Poyer in Cleveland.
He did, yeah. Tyshawn Gibson?
Yeah.
I think so. I think you're right there.
Where did Church come from?
I'm not sure. But the fact remains that it's looking at this defense with multiple guys who can, because we hear the cliche, take the top off the defense. You hear that cliche, but the fact is, once you turn the defense into a numbers game from the offensive side of the ball, you will win football games. If you can take a safety and say, okay, listen, the cornerback's gonna cover this guy in the slot. He likes to run deep. So the corner's gonna cover him until he's 15 deep, and that's the safety's problem, right? Yeah. So now you're taking guys out of the play, right? And with Allen being able to stretch the field, right?
Oh, yeah.
With his legs.
He threw that 60.
Yeah.
In the air.
Yep.
Getting rushed.
Huge throw.
You got to cover every inch of the field against this kid.
You do, right? Because if it's not with his arm, it's with his legs, and that's what makes him so dangerous. But I don't know if he really sees or understands what's in front of him yet. He's got a long way to go. We could talk about what Allen needs to improve on. Calling protection changes, checks. Like there's things that he's not doing that NFL quarterbacks do. There's some things he's just not asked to do yet, and that's fine. But there's also a lot of things receivers aren't asked to do yet.
That's what I was just going to bring up. If you have such a young, inexperienced receiver core that isn't reading with what Allen's reading, is that why he's starting to pull it down and run it? Because, okay, this is what I'm reading in this situation. He should sit in that zone, and he ran straight through the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, he's not there.
Gotta go.
Yeah, okay. It's a great point. I mean, it could be one of those things. McKenzie's been here for a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. Foster's been in and out.
Yep.
You got Kroom who's coming in for Clay.
Mm-hmm.
You got Zay Jones who has been there,
right,
but is still having trouble because even though he's in the slot, they're right up on him because they know he has trouble getting off press coverage. So it's maybe that's their goal over the next 5 games. Let's see what kind of chemistry we can develop with these guys. But just saying, it's kind of scary that you had 2 weeks to prep for that. And
the first 15 plays looked great.
Oh yeah, their script was phenomenal.
But once they got off script, it was a disaster.
If you happen to miss the post game, the Buffalo Bills are last in the NFL in yards per play.
Yeah, it was a
at
disaster.
4.2 yards per play.
Yep.
After the first 15 plays, because the touchdown to Foster was the 14th play that the Bills ran. And usually scripts are 15 plays.
Right.
But the plays after the Foster touchdown, they averaged 4.28
Right.
per play.
It was
So
bad.
what did Dable really change?
Right.